Hello everyone, my name is Doomfish, and today we have a tutorial for a bartering farm that I have designed, and if we take a look at it, this farm can produce about over 3,000 trades per hour, and that'll be plenty enough for all of your trading needs. I haven't had this thing going for like 10 minutes, maybe, and you can see every single one of these chests is getting full. And it's pretty simple design, you know. You have a clock in the back, a bit of a minecart powered system to get the gold in here, and it's definitely something that you can do on your worlds, and I would highly recommend it because there's plenty of good items you can get. Enchanted boots, the soul speed books, obsidian, gravel, soul sand, fire resistance potions, ender pearls, leather. You can get all sorts of stuff from these. And so let's move on to what you'll actually need to build this thing on your world. Take a look in the chest. You will need a steady source of gold. I would recommend building a gold farm of some kind. There's plenty of designs online that you can find that are pretty simple and can produce tons and tons of gold way faster than you never need it. And then you'll need 11 pieces of glass, about 3 stacks of blocks. You might need less than this, but this will definitely cover you for the entire build. 11 repeaters, 34 redstone dust, a comparator, sticky piston, 20 hoppers, 6 droppers, 12 chests, a lever. You will need 6 carpets, 6 trapdoors, 6 name tags. You can name whatever you want, obviously. In this example, they're all named Dave. You'll need 6 piglins, so you'll need to make sure you have a place where you can sort of farm out their spawns a little bit. You'll need a minecart with a chest, a rail, 16 powered rails, a block of redstone, and 6 pistons that are temporary. You won't actually need them in the build, but you'll need them for one part, and that is like putting the block above the piglin's head. So you won't actually use these in the final product, but they will be used to move some of the blocks around. And just because it gets a little dark, I have shroom lights included. They're not mandatory, but I find them quite nice. So yeah, let's just jump right into the tutorial on how you can make this yourself. Alright, so once you've gathered up all your materials and you're ready to start building, and you have a spot picked out, the first thing you're going to do is put down 6 double chests, like so. Just in a straight line, and keep on making them double chests. And once you have your 6 double chests down, you will put your hoppers, like so, where they're both pointing into the chest, and they're sort of like on top of each other like this. And you can do this for every single chest. Now this will be like the sorting, or not the sorting, the storage system here, and it's just a basic thing that'll help you keep up with your storage of items. Obviously you can change this however you want. This hopper right here, these are all going to be your outputs, but this will help at least get started with something that can contain all of the items, because they will be coming in very fast into the system. So next thing you want to do is you're going to want to take your carpet. They don't have to be white. Place them on top of the second hopper, like this for each one. And this is where the piglins are going to be standing. So you want to make sure that these carpets will prevent the piglins from falling into the hopper, and that will sort of mess up their line of sight to the gold we're going to be dropping them. Alright, so the next step is to sort of make the little apartments, if you will, or little compartments where the piglins are going to be standing. So you'll just want to put a block like so, and cover up these hoppers like this, with whatever block of your choosing. I'm just using quartz here because it sort of is bright against this bedrock and it's easy to see. And then you're going to want to put blocks in between where the piglins are standing, like so. And you can make this 2 high, that, and then do the same thing you did on the front, on the back, with these blocks, just making another line behind these hoppers, and this will sort of finish off the area where they're going to stand. You can also put a block like so, punch out that block, and put it up a little bit, and doing the same thing on the other side will keep the piglins that are on the ends closed. And then you can just throw in your glass, like so, above here, and that pretty much completes the area where they're going to be standing. There is a spot in the back, which I'll get to in just a minute. So behind each of these little compartments is actually where the gold is going to be dropped, and there's a little trick you can do. If you use a trapdoor and placing it like so from the back, flipping it up, you can sort of create a wall behind the piglins, so that if, let's say, a piglin was standing here, they could still grab gold that's dropped on this block right here, but they won't be able to throw their items that they give you back over that direction. They will just throw it below them. It'll get picked up by the hopper and head into this chest. That's why we put the trapdoors behind each of these, and then we can just place a block like so, in between each of the trapdoors. And then we have to make a little bit of a storage compartment so that this area is completely blocked off. So we'll put a block on the side there, another block on the side there, and then we will just run a line of blocks behind these trapdoors like so. And then what you want to do is grab your droppers and sort of, sort of put a temporary block right here and over across this side, and then crouch, put your dropper down, and make sure it's facing down. If it's done right, you should see the sort of cobblestone end on the top here, and then you can sort of repeat this process. I would recommend just making a straight line over here, crouching, dropper, same thing, all the way through, and this is where all the gold is going to go in from. So it's important that it's all going to be in an enclosed area where the piglins can grab it, but they can't throw anything back, and this setup works nicely for that. Alright, so now that we've got this sort of compartment set up all complete to where a piglin, if he was in here, could not be able to escape, it would be a good time to actually put the piglins in. So you can do this whatever way you want. For example, you could sort of make a staircase up on the side and just lure one in because they'll be aggroed to you, and then just sort of walk them into this hole. You shouldn't be too hard. It's a lot easier than moving villagers, for example. But once you get one in here, oh, that's a horrible example. You have to make sure they're adults, for sure. So we'll just, take care of this guy. Sorry, buddy. Okay. Well, alright. So now that we have an adult in here, what you're going to notice is that since they're on a carpet, you can't place a block above them. It's not going to work. So what I would do is I would get all of your piglins in here, like so. And for this example, I'm just going to spawn them in because I don't really feel like moving them. Make sure they're all adults again. And once you have them all in here, you'll have to push a block down with pistons, which is why we have those 6 pistons in there. Even though they're not going to be in the final version of the build, we'll still use them here. So what you can do is sort of do the same thing that we did with the droppers, where we make a temporary line up here. It should be all the way up here. So there should be like a 2-block gap between this line and the droppers down here. And then you can put a piston down, a block, and you can get something to trigger it, like a redstone block, for example. Just like so. And place it, break it, and this block is now in place. Very, very good. And we can do the same thing for all of these piglins. Now, they won't be able to get out during this process. They might be able to hit you, though, so just be aware of that as you're putting these blocks in above them. And yeah, it's just a pretty simple process here. And once this is done, we will move on to the filling portion, where we can fill the droppers here with gold, and the piglins can actually barter. So one important step here that will kind of require you to break this glass up a little bit, you could have done it earlier, which is fine, it's not a big deal though, is you have to make sure these guys are named, because they will despawn, and that would be really, really bad, because it's kind of tough to get these guys in here. So all I got is 6 name tags, and these guys are all going to be Dave. There's Dave 1, Dave 2, Dave 3, Dave 4, Dave 5, and Dave 6. And all of these Daves, or piglins, won't despawn now. They can't get out. They're just trapped there for all eternity. I'm pretty sure nothing can get to them and kill them. And so that is exactly how we want them to be. Next up, we are going to work on the filling system for these droppers so that they can actually get the gold. And all we're going to do is place a hopper above these droppers, hopper and dropper. And then we want to sort of connect this up in a line. So we're going to put blocks all the way between these hoppers. And then what we're going to want to do is just sit here and place 3 blocks on the edge like so. And then make it like curve up like this, take out that block, and so you have a 3-block space here and another block on the edge. You want to go and do the same thing over here. We've got 1 here, 2, and 3. Build it up, put that there, and that will stop the minecart when it runs across. And then we will take our rails here and just crouch and place them across these hoppers like so. Try not to fall into the hoppers, by the way. And once it reaches all the way to the end, that's good. And then we're going to want to put our powered rails here too. Leave this spot open to the left of this far hopper on the end. Put a normal rail there. And then you can take your block of redstone and sort of look in the middle here. So we count 1, 2, 3 hoppers here. And then the block to the right of this third hopper, we can put a redstone block above. See, this entire row of powered rails is now activated. And then we can start putting in our chest and our filling system. So for that, we can put 2 hoppers facing down on these rails, like so. And then a minecart with chest. And then just put your chest right there. Now, this chest is where all of your gold ingots are going to go. So you can have this feeding into like a gold farm or whatever supply of gold you have. Just make sure that they are ingots, and it should work just fine. So now what we need to do is we need to make a timer in the back here that will sort of tell this machine how often it should be giving gold ingots to these piglins. And that amount of time is approximately 6 seconds, because it takes 6 seconds for them to process each ingot, and this timer is like a slight bit longer than 6 seconds. So head on to the back of the machine here, place down a block behind each of these droppers, like so, and then under this block you just placed, place another one, like so. Sort of forms a staircase shape almost. And then put another one behind that, and then make a straight line behind it, like so. And then you count 3 over from either of the sides, so 1 block here, another block here, a 3rd block here, and then 1 more to the left or right, and build out 1 block on this side right here, and then 2 more, and then you have to make a little platform like so. It should be 6 blocks across like this. So it's 6 blocks across, 2 blocks wide, total of 12 blocks. So now you can place your repeaters in, like so, and like so. 4 on each side makes it 12, or makes it 8, excuse me, not 12. And make sure they're all set to 4 ticks, like so. And this sort of sets the timer here. So it's about a little over 3 seconds for it to switch over, and it'll only fire once when it's on, so it's 3 seconds times 2, gives you about 6 seconds, which is perfect. And now we can place our redstone in like so, and just place all of these redstone on these blocks back here. Don't place them above this, because this will end up locking the hopper, which is not what we want. Just let them power the block behind the dropper here. There we go. And now we can place a piece of redstone here, and a comparator here, and this sort of gets our clock design set up. So now that we have this clock set up here, we need to set up the input for it. And so all we're going to do for that is place a block right here, behind it, and then place 1 block on top of it and 1 block behind that, and then we can just take this block out, place 3 more blocks this direction, and then place 7 more blocks this direction, and this will be our input here. So now we can put a repeater facing into this block right here, and a redstone dust all on this line right here. And then we can take a lever, put it on the edge here, and now this will have an input for our clock. And this way, every 6 seconds, it will fire 1 piece of gold from these droppers down to where the piglins can reach it. So the final step here is to create a little setup to where this clock not only powers these droppers, but it will also power this minecart with the chest, and essentially tell it when and how often it should be sort of giving these hoppers gold. And so to do that, we place 1 block on the edge of this end right here, closest to the minecart with chest, and place a repeater on top of it, facing towards our lever here. And then place a sticky piston facing upwards, like so, a block on top of it, and then a block behind it like so. So it creates this is a monostable circuit. A piece of redstone dust here, repeater, block, repeater here, and then you crouch, place a block above it, and put a redstone dust right there. And that should pretty much do it. And also, one finishing touch, just because who doesn't like shroomlight? You can place your shroomlight here, as you want it. Now, just set this repeater to 4 ticks like so, and make sure the comparator has this front bit lit up, and that will pretty much complete the whole setup. So, once you have this all done, you can just put your shroomlights in like I have here, or you cannot. I mean, it depends, it's all up to personal preference. And then you can take your gold, insert it here, and wait until it fills up a little bit. You can see it's going pretty well here. And flick the lever, and you can see the clock starts working. The minecart goes across, and once it gets all powered up, you can see these guys get their gold, and as soon as they drop it, they pick up a new one. And that is pretty much the bulk of this farm. You can change the sorting system how you like. Right now it's just set up to where 6 chests sort of pick up each item from each individual piglin here. And it will go until you've got no more gold into the system. And then you can just shut off the lever here, and both the minecart and the droppers will stop firing. And you can see, even though I've had it on for less than a minute probably, we've already got a bunch of gravel, all these materials feeding in here, and it should work without any problems. Now, one thing you have to be aware of is these chests fill up very quickly. So, it processes a lot of gold, a lot of chests fill up quickly, and once you have that all sorted out, it'll be a very effective bartering setup. So, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial here. I hope you found it very informative, and if you liked it, don't be afraid to leave a like on the video. And thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.